We're getting late. We need to add more speed. We need to hurry. Ayan, good morning po. As we are moving on in here. I remember the time that I started to study computers. During the time by 1992, I just wanted to be a programmer. I learned a lot. I wanted to learn more about computers, but I don't know what's the language, what's the flowcharting. Because during my high school time, we did not study about the process flow. So during the time, I realized that even though it's in the high school doesn't have flowcharting, at least they have a basic education on how to do a process flow. Kasi when I started studying computer, our instructor presented the box, a different shape of boxes. And they called it sometimes in a different shape with a different name. And then the teacher asked me to do the process from where I started, from the house to school, to create a process flow on my way to school. So I'm just on that. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do the process, so which is basically the foundation of your understanding in a logical process. If you can do it in a detailed way, that is much better. And then later on, they teach us about the program used in typing. And during that time, we only have a diskettes. So we need to have a different diskettes for every software. One diskette, one software. So I have a operating system diskette which we called it DOS, or this operating system. During 90s, during 92 to 1993, we don't use Windows. We don't have Windows. The Windows is not yet introduced here in the Philippines. And then originally the Windows is not an operating system. It's just an ordinary software that you need to execute it on your computer. So you need to have you need to still have your DOS, and then you have a diskettes. During that time, due to expensive price of the hard disk, our school is unable to produce more hard disk drives, because during that time the hard disk drive is around 6,000 pesos or more, depends on the size. And usually the size of the hard disk is just around 60 megabytes, sometimes 20 megabytes. We started with 20 megabytes. Then there's a 30, And then when the hard disk is used, I don't have my idea on how to set up the other software. During the time, we still have DOS because not all of the computers in the laboratory is pre-installed with Windows. And actually, Windows is not on the system. So we just install the DOS on the hard disk and then copy the word processor, the database, a simple database or the DBase program, copy the Lotus on the drive C, copy the storyboard, because that time, since we don't have Windows and we don't have also an Microsoft Office, but around 1994, our boss, the owner of the school, introduced the Windows. But even he don't know how to install the Windows. He don't know how to use the mouse. So the school owner also sent the installer to me, and even me, I don't know how to execute that. So I need to rely on some basic README, because even the books is not yet totally available in any bookstore. There's no manuals included. They just give me the Microsoft Windows installer, and which is that installer is from the main school that's sent to the every branches. So I just study the README, I read and follow the instruction, because the only reference guide during that time is the README, a text file containing some instruction. So I just read it and follow the instruction. I able to install the Windows. And during that time, the Windows that first installed in the laboratory is Windows 3.1. So I install Windows, and so after installing the Windows, I'm very happy because there's a mouse, there's a button in the mouse, but actually the mouse don't have a ruler or the rotary component. The mouse consists of 3 buttons: the left, the middle, and the right. And the mouse is having a ball, so it's also having a mouse ball that time. So I started using it, explore, the click, the minimize, and the minimize, restore, and the maximize, and also the close button. I explore the paint, so it's graphical. Because during my studying, actually that time I still studying and I'm working in the laboratory. I just do it at the same time, work, and I'm just working student. Exploring everything on the Windows. And the first word processor included in the Windows is the Write. That's the name of the program, the Write. But that's the only. And then the paint, usually the paintbrush program, which used to draw using using some tools. So I explore it. I just changing the background, changing the theme's color, even the sound, the click sound of every of the mouse. I explore the mouse pointer, I explore it to make it bigger, black, or whatever images you wanted. And during that time, there's no internet. We only use the bulletin board system, or the BBS, in which is your modem need to be connected to another modem in Manila, and During that connection, you can see just a directory containing some files, antivirus, or some other files. And during the time, we still use the DOS Microsoft, the WordStar. The WordStar is a text-based program that we use for typing, for creating a documents, equivalent of Microsoft Word in this time. And when we are creating a program, we started to program using the DBase. So we execute the DBase we exit on Windows, go back to DOS, and execute the DBase program. Create some codes on DBase language, create database, and actually we don't know how to create the drawings. We just manually do the ASCII codes together and then copy control. I cannot remember the copyright during that time. I think it's Control KC, Control KB and Control KC, and Control K victory on paste, something like that. So our teacher also don't know what's the other advanced technique in creating some DBase program. That's our first programming language during that time, which is we are happy. We just create a hello world program, create some color, create blinking text, and happy for that to have a blinking text, and even the whole screen is blinking. During that time, we are happy, even though our instructor is not happy seeing such all the output of your program is totally blinking. Until such time that there's a new instructor, programming teacher, teach us how to create a drawing without coding, and which is you draw the lines on the screen, and then the DBase program create the equivalent codes for that drawing. So it's lessen our time typing, and which is they don't teach us how to properly use the fingers position, because the fingers positioning on the keyboard is only included in the computer secretarial courses. And for the programming, what important is just for you to type wherever way you wanted to use. The toolbox system is usually used. The pointing finger is usually used in typing for the toolbox system. As we go on, during 1994, the school owner wrote a new program, and that is the Microsoft Office. And that Microsoft Office is composed of 24 diskettes, so 1.44 floppy disks. It's one bundle, 24 pieces. You have this one of 24. And that is the Microsoft Office 4.2, which includes Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And the Microsoft database or Microsoft Access is not yet included during that time. Or maybe we don't have an idea what is the Microsoft Access during that time. So we only explore ourselves on Microsoft Word, the Microsoft Excel, and the Microsoft PowerPoint, which is I am become interested in Microsoft PowerPoint because for the first time there's an animation, and you can easily learn that animation without reading any manuals. I just explored the Microsoft PowerPoint during that time, and the next day I'm just happy and telling it to my co-office mate. But before that time, I remember creating a storyboard. Storyboard Plus is one of the program that we are using before, the graphical program used in animation or to create a slides presentation, just like Microsoft PowerPoint right now. It's a pixelated program. And the first project that we sponsored right during that time is the showcase. We create I created a presentation using the storyboard, just self-study, creating a slide presentation, and then the showcase becomes happy to have that computer on their front desk playing a slideshow with some animation. And that's the first time I received a green card from Showcase, which is a discount card. It's just like an ATM. Because during that time, I don't have an ATM, so I didn't know how to use it. So even that discount card, I'm just happy for it because it's a green card and with the golden embossed text on it. And that time, only limited person is receive such kind of discount card. I'm just continue to study computers. And the problem during that period is you don't have internet, you don't have any resources on how to study. You just base yourself on help, README files. You cannot ask questions to anybody in the office because nobody knows computer in advanced graphical interface. They just only using usually Microsoft Word, and then the not Microsoft, it's the Lotus 123. That's the company before. Actually, during that time, the Microsoft has a counterpart company, and that is Lotus. So during the time, the Lotus also they have own a word processor, and their specialty is the Lotus 123, which is now the equivalent of Microsoft Excel. So actually, the original spreadsheet creator, excuse me, is the Lotus. Until such time that Microsoft studied the creation of Microsoft Excel, in which comes out almost the same with the Lotus 123, and the difference is the interface. The interface of Excel is, when Microsoft introduced it, is graphical. It's just like you're playing a brick game. The toolbar is a graphical brick style. Most of the toolbar firstly introduced by Microsoft is just like a brick. The buttons, and unlike today, the toolbar, the button is flat. Before, the button is a chisel button. It's just chisel type. It's just like a wood carved using the chisel. And during that time, when I first used the Microsoft Excel, I just still use the command of Lotus. I don't know which part of the menu can be executed, because there's a lot. So I still use the Lotus command, which is slash. Say you wanted to change the column width during that time. In Lotus, the command to change the column width is slash W, which stands for width. C, that stands for worksheet, and W's and C S. So it's slash WCS, and then you need to specify the number. So you just need to estimate the number you wanted to input as the width, the size. That's the size of the width. Slash width or slash worksheet column size. And when I using the Excel, I use the slash, and the Excel go to equivalent menu on that. That's the beginning of the transition, because they consider those who are, and especially most of the user during that time only understand Lotus, so they adapted it. So the Microsoft consider it the Lotus user to use the Microsoft Excel. So when they execute the command of Lotus, the Excel is go to the equivalent menu and execute the same command until such time like now. So Microsoft has a lot of products. During that time, the programming language is the DBase program, and Clipper, which is the Clipper, the Pax Pro, is just almost the same in terms of coding. Once you have a program in DBase, you can execute it in Clipper or Pax Pro. So that program can be a application, can have an exe file when you compile it. Unlike when you're creating a program in a DBase, you cannot make it as an application. It's an open type software, which is you can edit the source code and execute it in a dot prompt. As the technology goes on, even the mouse try to change with some other companies. So there are companies created a trackball, in which it's just like an inverted mouse. The difference is the ball is on top, and you need to hand over to the ball, just like massaging your palm. And the mouse is moving, and the ball is bigger. The price of I think the price of trackball is around 800 pesos each. Now, the owner of the school is converted the mouse, not actually changed the mouse into trackball, because we have incident that the student take out the mouse ball, so they cannot use that mouse during that time. We just visit the house of the suspected student who brought out the mouse ball. So become trackball, because in the trackball you cannot pull out the ball. It's totally locked. And as we go on, we started with WordStar, and then Lotus 123, DBase programming. Not Microsoft. The WordStar, the Lotus 123, and the DBase programming. Also the flowcharting, and which is very difficult for me to understand during my first time. I don't understand it. and even the programming coding, the programming language of the DBs. But well, basically we all started from the hello world as the first sentence that we're going to display, or the first output of our program. As of today, the hello world is still continuous as the one of the icon is output of every programming languages, and today there's a lot of programming languages. The original programming languages is the assembly language, the C language, the DBase program, the COBOL program. And later on, it upgraded to Visual. That means since there's a Windows, all the programming language level up into graphical user interface. And during my second semester, we study about the COBOL programming, in which is if your program is having even one error, you need to pay for a lot of printed pages containing some errors. In COBOL programming, if you just miss one period, it will generate a lot of papers as an error. And during our studies of COBOL, we are still thinking of what kind of work we can apply, because we don't know how to create flowchart. Actually, we only understand little bit flowchart. We don't know how to create a graph, because the Lotus 123 doesn't have a graph until such time that Lotus 123 have a YCWG, or what you see is what you get.
Okay.
Morning. 6:43, tanghali na. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So during the programming time, we just follow the requirements to create a program using the COBOL programming, which the COBOL means Common Business Oriented Language. As according to them, that's the mostly common language uses in some of the ATMs, or most ATM of the banking system. That's why that's the language that they going to teach us. But when we go outside, it's very hard to get some work because we cannot apply as an encoder, or we cannot apply for as a typist, because we cannot type fast. So our knowledge is not enough based on our evaluation in our capacity. So I just continue studying, reading some books, creating some drawings using the CorelDRAW when it's not part of the school curriculum. I just do some studies, going to the National Bookstore, read some books, or go to the book sale, read some books that I can learn anything about computers. Well, anyway, guys, that's all for today. I will continue it later, this after when I go home, about the second part of studying computer. And this will be a reference guide as part of my history for the newcomers, which is what's the difference and how difficult it before, unlike today, that they are complaining that programming, computer using some technology is very difficult. Today it's not difficult because we have a YouTube, we have a lot of videos, we have a lot of samples on the Googles, and we have currently have equipped with an AI, in which is they can create program for us. The only difference is we don't use our brain. There, the AI is created it, but we don't understand character per character the meaning of every technique. That's the what we have right now. And most of the school is not allowing every student to do the use of AI because it makes us bobo later on when we finish our schooling, because we only rely always on the AI. What if we don't have an internet connection in some remote areas? We cannot create program. That's why most of the school is still encouraging all of the students to do a hard-coded, a usual programming techniques, which is the manual coding and manual creating a program, which building up a good foundation for every IT students. Okay, I will continue it. I will just take it off, signing off for temporary, and I will resume it tomorrow after office. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.